Mercy Q. Cacfiend, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate you. My opponent says I destroyed them yesterday and I have a great hand on the play. Yeah, full set is one of each card from Crimson Vow. Wait, dude, no, there's Edgar Charmed Groom in that set. Crimson Vow has Edgar Charmed Groom. That's pretty good. That's a I mean, someone has 5-0'd with Edgar Charmed Groom in Modern before. Somebody has. Could have been anybody. Okay. Can't grief this turn. Because we were playing against the Belcher player we played against yesterday. Trying to find a black card for the grief. Does the Crimson Vow also have Meat Book? I don't have no idea. I think Vampire Pucks was our second trophy of the trophy race season. 5-0 with Chandra Dress to Kill. I don't know if I ever 5-0 with Chandra Dress to Kill. I mean, that card is good. I haven't. People have for sure. I don't think I have. I think I have 5-0 with Edgar Charm Groom. Ooh. Desperate Ritual Valakut Awakening. Not very scary. Definitely want to draw a black card in the top 2. Thankfully, we have a lot of black cards. Ephemerate would definitely be passable too. Oh, we'll take a Mulldrifter. The real best draw. Also, like a really low chance that they can kill me next turn. But a chance for sure. Okay, no black card. They discard Pact of Negation. Kind of have to sweat a little bit this turn, but if they don't kill me, we should be fine. If they don't kill me, I'll be very alive. But from North America or EU? North America. A lot of Europeans in the chat, though, because of the time zone I stream in. I got the morning Americans at work, and I got the afternoon Europeans relaxing. Oof. Dodged. I have all of the blue-white control perverts as well in the chat. Spike, what is the new technology for blue-white control? Let's talk about Snapcaster versus Solitude for the 1000th time. Alright. 4 mana and a grief. Pretty good deal. Hopefully I have main deck Veil of Summer. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Cryptic Command. I'm here to talk about Kolagon's Command. Wait, they're pacting? Will they just die? It's a third Pact of Negation. I guess they just wanted to show off that they had 3 packs. Okay, up a game against Belcher again. We beat this player yesterday. They're bringing in these 11 cards, cutting the... Or maybe not the Teferi, sorry. Just the Stony's, Terastodon's, Thoughtseize. Cutting the Teferis. Oh, the Teferi does get Leyline. It gets the white Leyline, which is kind of a hard card to deal with. So we could do something like this. Probably keep the Swarm. How many QPs do I have? Too many. That's on a Mulda 6. I have 1 full set of Crimson Vow. Wait, did the QPs reset? Where are my QPs? Do I really have, did they just reset? This isn't a... give them back! Okay, I do have a Leyline. I just 5'd a league. How do I have 0 QPs? I just 5'd a league 2 seconds ago. I must have, like, even if they just reset, I would have some. Where are they? GY, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you. Is my filter too small? No, it's set up for 1. I have 1.9. Those are tickets. These are tickets. I'm so confused. My opponent kept Leyline in 1 land hand. Hold on, we'll figure it out. I have 12? Where are they? These are the trophies. These are trophies. These aren't QPs. Not collectible? I guess just click. Oh, yeah, yeah. Quantity. Not collectible. So weird. Okay, so they're still not there. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is bothering me so much. It doesn't matter. I don't know where my QPs are. Do you know where your qualifier points are? Have you asked recently? Okay, the grief not too helpful either. Hoping to hit a Terastodon off my Aethermage's touch, I guess. Fix the filter. You have it going to 19. Oh. I see. Okay, I have 236 qualifier points. Thank you. We cracked the code. The case of the missing QPs. Pan, think of the 6 months. Appreciate you. Okay, recross. I can find it's a Teferi or Aethermage's touched into Terastodon. That's about all I can do here. What do you have QPs? If you need like 40 of them to play in like tournaments and stuff, but I always have something going on qualifier weekends. Like I'm not playing in any tournaments this weekend. Too bad. So trouble redeeming a deck tech. There's a 30-minute timer set. Oh, we have Terastodon on top. Fuck. Oh wait, no, I can just Thoughtseize myself. Easy Thoughtseize myself. Wait, I won the clash. What does that mean? I don't think it means anything. But I've never won the clash before. They don't get the recross path is what I mean, right? Yeah, okay. I was like, I don't know what happens if I win the clash. Could I keep touch? No, I can't because I only have 3 mana. I need 4. So I probably should kill the Leyline. Kill Leyline both red sources. Oh, I can't win the clash. Wait, it says in the chat I do, I think. I see though. Okay, I will grieve. And then I guess I would be pretty happy to trade Terastodon for 2 elephants. So they're on the Pyromancer's Ascension plan. I think I just take the Ascension. Yeah, this trade would be good for me because I could just have the Cottage. They just took it. So if they attack with the elephants, I can trade and then Cottage back a grief, recast the grief. That would be okay. I think that's the line. Blowing up other lands that they just stuck their six seems good. Yeah, but I have grief in hand for the like the land line shuts off my Archons. I feel like it's okay to leave them with 1 land. Like they're also like not likely to put lands on top in their pile. Draw step, touch grief them. That's true. Maybe that's a little bit better. But then I might want to like try to find something a bit more impactful. Joe says GG's. My next land is in 5 draws. It's funny. Alright, nasty trasty. We are 6-0 on the day with this 75. Feeling pretty good. Okay, I can mulligan this hand. Easy keep. Although I guess it's kind of difficult what to put back. Aethermage's touch is like best if they interact with my Persist, but it's just I think too high on the curve. And if I draw a... I guess I'm playing Cottage no matter what, right? Yeah. Because even if I were to draw a white source, I would want to be able to ephemerate my Archon on turn 3. Verdant Catacombs, Blood Crypt into Blackleaf Cliffs, into the very playable Dark Confidant. Naturally drawing both cottages kind of awkward. Gives me fond memories of my Mystic Sanctuary days, though. Just a defeated discard spell. They reveal Bloodstained Mire. They didn't have a discard spell turn 1, so they've had like 3 or 4 more looks. They Rakdos or they Jund? Probably Rakdos. Okay, Dauthi Voidwalker does not stop. No! Ah, damn it. Brutal. Alright, Thoughtseize Bug one time. Thoughtseize Bug one time. Here. Alright, so let me get Godless Shrine and then bounce the Dark Confidant, I think. Okay, a little late in the library, but maybe just dodge another one. Got clapped by Black Red Rock on Storm the other day. Yeah, I like the rock deck a lot. They're playing a different version. They're playing, although I do think I am on extra fetches at the moment, but they're playing Dark Confidant. Okay, this is fine. I have to discard not Grieve because they can grief me. Obviously, like, the second Cottage would help with an Aethermage's touch, but I'm just all in on this Persist, I think. Land. Not land discard spell, thankfully. So we persist the Archon. They're going to sack Liliana. Luco, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate you. Or so they're going to sack Voidwalker so they can't move Liliana. Clint, thank you for 2 months, appreciate you. Played against Gobs, the Martin Villa side walks up against Elementals. Any advice? I don't necessarily have advice. You have to try to outgrind them, which is not going to be easy to do, but is going to be possible. It's kind of a weird concession. Surely they have like outs to Archon there, but whatever. So my opponent's likely on Dauthi, Voidwalker, and Unlicensed Hearse as their graveyard hate of choice. So I'm going to be, I think, bringing in 4 endings, cutting 4 griefs. I want the extra Teferis too. Kind of want to cut the 4th Solitude. It's maybe going too low on creatures. Cut the 4th Grave, I guess. Yeah, I think I need to be a little bit more comfortable cutting the 4th Grave. Clinton with 2 months and Bob, thank you for 6. Thank you. Flicker response to the first trigger dodge and Holy Heat. They didn't have Delirium for it in Holy Heat. Okay, keep this. Do you ever read Stony Silence or Graveyard Hate? That's actually the main reason Stony Silence is in the sideboard, is to answer Graveyard Hate. It's good against Murktide, Jund Saga, Hammer Time. Most Urza Saga decks will have. Like at least a Relic of Progenitus too. Okay, so Voidwalker down. I did bring in answers to it, but I can't currently get the Archon of the Yard before the Voidwalker exiles it. We have Teferi to bounce it next turn, I guess. Okay, we could go like Mulldrifter, Ephemerate. Is it Troll Art Day? I just like the nice arts. Leave me alone. Please. Leave me alone. Probably discarding second Persist here. Ooh, they can Voidwalker their Persist and Persist their Voidwalker. What's the best shadow variant? I think it's Grixis. I think that there are other... Oh, they discarded hers? I guess they already have graveyard hate. Martinez, 6 months. Appreciate the chat. Okay. I think I discard the Mire so that I can leave my second Cottage in the deck for later. Although Mire would let me get second white for hardcast Solitude, which is a little bit relevant. So I can go Mulldrifter, Ephemerate Mulldrifter, draw 4. But then my opponent can Edict, and they can cast Mulldrifter if they want to. Not ideal. Okay. So right now they have Persist, Bloodstained Mire under the Voidwalker. I don't think I need to Solitude the Voidwalker immediately here. I might not even Solitude it super aggressively at all. Like, if they cast a Mulldrifter, how much do I care? I don't even think I care that much. And saving the Ephemerate for, like... Well, like, I mean, I'm gonna have to Solitude this, I guess, at some point. But they can also... I can also maybe, like... Maybe they make a bad attack here, right? Yeah, they attack like this. Now I get to keep my Teferi. Need to make sure to stack my triggers so that the Solitude goes to the yard. They can Persist Dark Confidant. I sure hope they do, because it gets a -1 counter. But they would just play the Mire, I think, or they would persist their own Voidwalker. So yeah, maybe I was supposed to main phase it. I'm not sure. I think holding is fine too. Okay, so we can go instant speed, Unmarked Grave, Persist. They had nothing to do after. They had nothing to do after we. Solitude, which is weird. They have 3 cards in their hand. Why does it matter if I stack the triggers? If I stack the triggers opposite, the Voidwalker exiles the Solitude. Okay, certainly not ideal, but I can use my next Unmarked Grave to Rites the Archon next turn, which should be fine. So they're going to sack their Ragavan. Take one of my 2 Unmarked Graves, which is okay. And then either Edict or use what they very likely have, like a Terminate in their hand, because they had 3 cards and they just did nothing. Take the Tainted Indulgence. They do Edict me. Okay, wasn't really expecting to see this. I'm going to leave an Unmarked Grave in my hand so I can draw land. Goodbye, Sweet Witch's Cottage. Leave this uncracked for now. Alright, so draw a card. If I draw a land, I Unmarked Grave Persist. Or Unmarked Grave Rites. And now I'll just go to Teferi, +1. Pass. Oh, is this Caleb's Red Blacklist? We have another one? We're beating another one pretty easily. Yeah, this is not an issue. Oh, should need to cast my Unmarked Grave though. Caleb is around Liliana, okay. A homebrew. I don't think I want to Cottage back Solitude there. Alright, so if they plus, they discard their last card. We get to, I guess, then in their draw step, Unburial Rites Archon, make them discard their card, sack their Liliana. Oh, but they wisely don't plus. And then you concede. Okay. 7-0 on the day. It's pretty exciting. Deck felt really good yesterday. I know we didn't have as good a record yesterday, of course, but we've also been running hotter today. But I'm really hyped about this list. I'm really hyped about it. Okay, gonna mulligan this. I don't like this hand very much either. But we do have 4 mana and an Aethermage's Touch, so I'm probably gonna keep. Although it is true, so paper RCQ metas are really like full, at least in my experience, are really full of 4-color Omnath, Murktide, Blue-Eye Control, Hammer Time, Living and Burn. And this is a deck I like. I don't mind in all of those matchups. I don't like this deck against Tron, though. Tron is kind of popular at paper RCQs, although you have game against it. We're 3-0 against Titan with the 75, although I don't think Titan's a good matchup. We're 2-0 against Belcher, although I don't think Belcher is a good matchup. I don't think it would be a terrible choice. Thoughts on cutting Grief? I would never cut Grief from the deck. You need it to have a density of targets for Ephemerate and Aethermage's Touch. And also, like, fighting through counterspells is hugely important, too. Yeah, I would never cut Grief from the deck. It's also, like, it's good to Witch's Cottage back sometimes. People overthink it, too. Like this is something I do. I'm guilty of it as well, but people just freaking, like, they'll see a list like this. I'm doing really well with it. It's feeling very powerful, and people just want to, like, you know, hit it with their wrench and reinvent the wheel. And in my opinion, reinvent a wheel that is rolling just fine. Okay, they get a hammer. Interesting draw. Looks like it's going to be a game where we hope to not whiff on our Aethermage's Touch. We did whiff a couple times yesterday, but this is what you sign up for. You don't always get to Cottage. Although we can potentially draw a white card and then go like Solitude something, and then like Solitude on top, Aethermage's Touch into either Solitude or something else. Hammer is super rare on paper. Very few people can play the deck well. That's, at least in my area, that's absolutely not the case. Hammer is like one of the more popular decks. Yeah, Hammer is definitely one of the more popular decks in like my area. People really like to play aggro decks. They really like to, you know, cosplay as Tom Ross and navigate around interaction and stuff. Deck tech for LZ. If you post a link in the chat, I can take a look. And it's for IZ. So IZ, all right. Oh, thank you. Okay, hold on. Yeah, can someone redeem Fat's channel points? Thank you. I wouldn't have minded if this Archon was a card down. We're refunding because Fats redeemed it for IZ, who already donated. I think I'm just going to pass, although there's like a decent chance if they cast the hammer, I think I'm just supposed to evoke Solitude and then Witch's Cottage it back. Although Urza Saga is going to make it a bit harder to navigate through. I only have 3 Archons in the deck. I could hit Grief off Aethermage's Touch and take the hammer out of their hand here. So Solitude, Mulldrifter, Archon, and Grief are all good hits. So I think I'm casting the Touch. I think I just have to. It's close. Okay, so another Power Conduit deck. I saw Magic Aids list. I thought it was interesting. The biggest issue I kind of have with the idea, though, is that it's really hard to like sign up. Oh, they have Blacksmith skill? Brutal. It's really hard to like, you know, go to a Modern tournament and play against an opponent who is unprepared to deal with a Urza Saga and tokens. I would say almost every opponent you're going to run into is really good at dealing with the Saga. I also think the issue with playing a deck like this, with the Crow and War, Fable, Slay the Troll, and Power Conduit is your clock is really slow. Like, this deck is going to Goldfish turn 5, turn 6, a lot of the time, too often of the time. And when that's the case, you're just and with no mana interaction in the main deck, no counter spells, no discard spells, you just lose to big mana and spell-based combo, while also being incredibly weak to sideboard cards like Alpine Moon and Dress Down, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that these kinds of decks can't be competitive, but these are the issues. These are the issues you have with these kinds of decks. I also think that it looks like you probably have. I think you have too many Tutor Syndrome. I think that Ancient Stirrings is cool. I would play the 4th Ancient Stirrings before the 1st Sylvan Scrying. But again, like, Urza Saga is like just not good enough, I think, for you to like play this many like tutors for it. It is just like everybody is like ready to beat Urza Saga tokens. I play a lot of Saga decks. Saga's a fine card, but again, it's just really rare to like play against someone that is unequipped to deal with Urza Saga plus tokens. Like, everybody's just like, they're just ready. So I would be interested in like probably like Ragavan over Elvish Reclaimer, Force Sylvan Scrying over or Ancient Stirrings over the Sylvan Scrying. I think you have way too many Urza Saga targets. Oh, never mind. You want a lot of Urza Saga targets because you get to keep Power Conduiting them. I guess that's fine. Arnie Slays the Troll is pretty cool. I'm kind of in for the first copy. I don't know if it's good, but it's too cool to say no to. Oh, they're attacking with the Paladin? That's really good, because now I can go Exile Midnight, block Paladin. Still, like, pretty behind. But if we could draw a Unmarked Grave or Tainted Indulgence, we're doing okay. Could also Persist to Solitude next turn. Okay, not doing as okay now. So we have to chump block. I think these are my thoughts. Like it's hard for me to I can't like solve all the issues for the deck, right? I think, you know, for these kind of deck techs, I can give you a small, like, you know, a few different deck building suggestions of where to go, and I can give you issues that like the archetypes can have overall. But I don't know how to. If I knew how to solve all the issues, I would have just been playing the deck myself. But cool list. Good luck to you also. Okay, so what are we exiling? So I think I'm going to exile Paladin, block Midnight, unless they get Shadow Spear, then I have to exile Midnight, block Construct. Oh, the trample on this Shadow, this is so good though. The problem is obviously that my opponent's going to be able to get a hammer and equip if I don't kill the Paladin. Best draw in the deck. I don't think it is. I think we still lose. Yeah, they kind of have to mess up here. Oh, I don't even know how... Yeah, they can't even really mess up. They just have 3 lethal attackers. I can deal with 2. Equip here, block Ephemerate. Yeah. Game 2. Gonna bring in my Prismatic Endings, my Stony Silences, cutting my Greaves, my Teferis, Unmarked Grave number 4. Or hold on. I guess I'm cutting 2 Mulldrifters before Unmarked Grave number 4. But I'm gonna keep in my full arts. I can also do something like this. I can keep in the Mulldrifters and have a density of like Ephemerate touch targets. Let's do this. We can lean on it. We can lean on a more controlling game plan too, with like Prismatic Ending, Stony, Solitude. Always sideboarding so hard here. What would I say is a good deck in meta? Running mostly Amulet, Burn, 4-color, and Tron. It's a really hard metagame to attack. Maybe play Rakdos midrange. I would maybe play Murktide. Murktide's good against Amulet, Burn, and Tron. They give a bad 4-color matchup, but I don't know if there's any decks that are just like good against all of those. Maybe Living End is a good choice there too. Yeah, the Terastodons are almost exclusively for Tron, which I think is one of this deck's worst matchups. Rhinos is also a bad matchup, though we had a sweet game against them earlier. I think that I'd rather target Tron than Rhinos in the metagame, but it's maybe close. Red Green Scape Shift. I think Scape Shift is bad against Amulet Titan, and I don't know how it is against Burn. It's maybe okay. Keep this hand against Hammer. I tried Master of Death over Mulldrifter. I would never cut Mulldrifter. Mulldrifter's nuts. Also, I believe that Master of Death is like it. I guess I have to give Master of Cruelties. I don't know what Master of Death does, but I feel like I'm gonna read it. It's gonna be really lost in the sauce. Maybe I'll read it anyways. ETB Surveil 2. Yeah, that card's way too slow and weak. Unfortunately, it's probably pretty cool. I think I'll ending this. Got one Mulldrifter for Tainted Industry. I think it's a really bad decision to cut any number of Mulldrifters. Mulldrifter is so good with Witch's Cottage, Aethermage's Touch, Ephemerate. It's good to help you beat Graveyard Hate. It's just like I don't view the fourth Mulldrifter as a flex spot at all, and I would recommend that you don't either. Okay, so we can Tainted Indulgence, and then we can maybe set up for an Aethermage's Touch if we can find a fetch land. If there's a good chance that, you know, a lot of times we've been like Witch's Cottage back our Archon, that my opponent just they just don't they don't pop their relic because they don't really know what's going on. And if they do pop their relic, it's also kind of fine. Just like trading the relic activation with a fetch land is cool. You can still spin the Aethermage's Touch. Those are not very good hits. Is Tainted better faithful? Yeah, because we have all these swamps in the mana base. That is true. They just see the touch game one. So we're hoping to draw a Stony Silence. We're hoping to draw an Ephemerate. We're hoping to draw just a Witch's Cottage land would be okay. Okay, that's what we got. So I think I'm going to do this in their instep, probably, to not give them the cards off the Esper Sentinel early. Although I guess, like, I'm only going to cast the Aethermage's Touch if they do pop the relic, which there's a chance they just don't do. Yeah, so if they don't do that, then I'll just cast a Tainted. If they do pop the relic, I'll cast Tainted Indulgence. If they don't, I'll cast Aethermage's Touch. How do I say Blue-Black Asmosieve is faring? I haven't played the deck in a little while. Big mana strategies like Amulet Titan, Red Green Valakut, and Tron have been more popular lately. Although that being said, Food does have an okay time against Amulet Titan, but it's bad against Tron, bad against Wish Shift. But it is also, I think that those decks are maybe trending down a little bit, and so it's maybe going to be a good time for Food again soon. But like I think that I think Food is great against everything but the Karn the Great Creator decks and Wish Shift. I think that it's like a really good choice in the metagame when those decks are absent. Yeah, the way like Cottage lets you play around Relic is really sweet. I'm hoping that they don't pop the Relic, and then I get to Aethermage's Touch and trigger Archon at least 2 times, and extra time if I get a Ephemerate. And it does resolve. They could have counter magic. I think they're mono white though, so I'm not really expecting it. This deck is sick. APM Power Conduit, Hex Parasite with Sagas. Hex Parasite's a meme. It's really fragile, really easy to play around, really slow. Power Conduit's interesting, but your clock's really slow, and you're also like really vulnerable to hate and decks that don't care about your deck and can just race you. Is there a world where Reanimator runs Ledger Shredder cantrips? I've tried Ledger Shredder cantrips. I think it's worse than these variants, but there's like something to it. It's not like completely unreasonable. So now I get to Ephemerate, keep my Archon around. This has been like the best Reanimator variant I've played in a long time. I know that everybody always wants to reinvent the wheel. They always want to put their own spin on things. This deck has been great. This deck has been the best Reanimator variant maybe I've ever played. I don't, you know, I feel like, you know, I really try not to overhype things when I'm still formulating opinions on them. I really try to be very measured and careful with all the words I select. I think the last time you heard me hype up a card early into the testing process was Ledger Shredder. Just like I was saying Ledger Shredder was going to be a modern staple, and I've never said that about a new card before ever. And I know I'm running hot today, but this is like my third time playing the deck now. I've really liked it every time. I think that this deck is the best Reanimator variant I've ever played. Is my current take. I know it's a hot take. But it's a hot take from someone that doesn't give hot takes that often, you know. It is still a Reanimator variant. And I know we've played a million of them on the channel, and they're all like decks that you can high roll with, but Aethermage's Touch is just exactly what the deck needed. Like another Persist effect that gets around Graveyard Hate. It's just exactly what the deck needed. Okay, you never mulligan Solitude, Ephemerate, Stony Silence against Hammer Time. I know we only have one land, but you never mulligan this ever. To be contrarian, people also don't know how to play touch yet. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like it is like early to say. I think you didn't need to delete that. That's fine. But it is like too soon to say for sure. But touch is also like a really hard card to play around. Like it's an instant. It gets around Graveyard Hate. It's like not good to relic into it. Ooh. I guess this is fine. I can Prismatic Ending the Hushbringer. Although the Sentinel's kind of awkward. I probably just have to take the card disadvantage. So unlock Solitude, Ephemerate. Although now I can just wait. I think just waiting is too slow to draw. Just Solitude and ambush the Sentinel. Maybe. Yeah, I think I still have the Ephemerate in the hand. Yeah, that was probably the best line. Yeah, Solitude stays in play, I get to block Sentinel, then I get to Prismatic Ending without giving them the card, I still have Ephemerate in hand. Yeah, that was a better line, for sure. But it's true, this deck definitely still has the advantage of my opponents have never played against Aethermage's Touch before. I just don't know how like easy it is to play around. I would consider Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand doesn't work with Unmarked Grave Persist. I do have a different variant that does play Gristlebrand, but it's just, again, there's different. Okay, that's fine. So they're not going to hammer. I'll just take 2. And then I think we're pretty forced to Solitude Ephemerate. Blacksmith skill will get us pretty bad if they have it. But I'm going to wait. I don't think I want them to play another creature. Did I post a second competitive event? Not quite there yet. I don't know. It's a little bit too early. Chaotic Camel 2 months. I don't like to play decks that I've only played like 30 matches of at competitive events, you know. I know that is a lot, but it's a lot less than any of the other decks I could choose. Not casting Stony. They draw a card if I cast Stony, so I think I just am going to prioritize Solitude Ephemerating here, and then casting Stony. Can this deck become good against Trompo's side? The Terastodons help a lot. I think we're already playing 2 Terastodons. I don't know how much more you could possibly hedge that matchup. Realm Razor? Yeah, maybe Realm Razor is better. I'm not sure that it is, though. Like, you exile your own lands, too. Could maybe be better to hold the Ephemerate, but I think I am interested in having the Solitude in play. Better for future Ephemerates, too. So probably pop the Relic. Oh, they didn't pop Relic? What the hell? They have an answer to it as like one of the last 2 cards. Maybe they just messed up. Oh, sorry, I meant to throw the Gristlebrand list up. I'll throw it up later. So a Urza Saga is going to be a 5/5, and up to like 7/7. I need to get another color here anyways, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and cast my Tainted Indulgence now. I kind of want to use my mana now too. So if I graveyard the... I think I just graveyard this. But if I graveyard the Mulldrifter there, if I draw a Cottage, I can Cottage back Mulldrifter. If this was a Cottage, then maybe I would do that. I would just evoke. Pin, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate you. It's a bit awkward here. I think I play my land just pass for now. One really nice thing about this spot is they can't do the Inkmoth Nexus trick. No, they can't kill me. They can't reactivate Nexus because I have Stony. They can't Shadow Spear because I have Stony. Yeah, the Hammer from Saga will attach to a creature. I have to chump block, but then what I can do is I can Witch's Cottage back my Solitude if I need it, and then Aethermage just touch into it. Or I could like draw a land and then Unmarked Grave, Archon, Cottage, Archon, Aethermage's touch. They have Sigarda's Aid. Yeah, Sigarda's Aid doesn't kill me, chat. Because usually without Stony Silence, they could put the hammer on the Inkmoth Nexus, activate Inkmoth Nexus again to give it flying, and kill me. But they can't do that here because there's a Stony in play. They can attack Flash and Hammer. I guess they would have to have Hammer in hand. They would have to have Hammer in hand, sure. But I'm not playing around it. I don't think it makes much sense to play around. Okay, so we block here. We go down to 10. I think we just take the draw step. Land would be nice, I think. I think Archon's like good enough to stabilize. I could be wrong though. It's actually not, is it? It's not. I Archon, they sack a construct. I go down to 10 after I shock and fetch. And then I'm chump blocking. What if they activate Inkmoth twice? They can't because of the... I don't think that works, right? Yeah, Hammer only attaches to it once it's a creature. Once it's a creature, they can't activate it. I don't know what the line is. So is Solitude ever better than Archon here? Not really. I think Archon's better. I get to draw the card. I'll have the Archon back in the graveyard to draw Persist. Solitude might mean Hammer can't go anywhere. Yeah, but the problem is the problem with that line. Oh, I didn't cast the Unmarked Grave. Fuck, I didn't cast the Unmarked Grave. Okay, now we're just on Solitude. Solitude into Tainted Indulgence, so then I can go Unmarked Grave for rights. I set it out the rights. Fuck. Oh, we're also dead to them having drawn Hammer. I think we're dead to that anyways. Hold priority, double activate, let first animation effect resolve, attached hammer, second one resolve. That doesn't work because it works if they have a hammer in the hand. It doesn't work off the Urza Saga trigger. I guess I could also still hit Archon. Yeah, I always regret setting out rights. I know. Now we did exactly Solitude white card, which is... I think we're still in really bad shape. We hit the Solitude. Alright, our 7-match win streak comes to an end. I definitely could have played that match better, though. But we're probably dead anyways. Okay, Unmarked Grave Persist into play. Sneep. So I put back... I had this exact hand earlier, and I put back Teferi. But I think I'm actually putting back, or I put back Aethermage's Touch. No, but I had one less land. But here, if they counter my Persist, or if they discard my Persist, I want to have Aethermage's Touch to just Cottage back Archon and then touch it into play. And then also on turn 3, I'd rather be casting Persist than Teferi anyways. I have no idea, Sat. Oh, don't be on main deck Bog. Mr. Elvish Reclaimer deck. Do not main deck Bog. Okay, if you have main deck, I'm willing to compromise. If you have main deck Bog, you actually just deserve to win. I agree. I agree. If you have main deck Bog, you deserve to win. If I draw a land, I could try to play around it. Oh, I drew the land. I'm not playing around it. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You're just trying to get Urza Sagas off this. I think a single swamp would be good here, so you can consistently have 2 less damage. I'm playing 2 copies of basic swamp. I think the first swamp is good. I think the second swamp is fine too. I think you could maybe cut the second swamp. I am playing it. Sylvan Scry. I feel like I'm playing against that deck tech I just did earlier. Urborg. The problem with Urborg is you can't fetch for it. Like, the main reason that I have the second basic swamp in the deck is for a fetchable target in a deck with 11 fetch lands. And as is, like, yeah, this is definitely that deck tech deck. Do I want to Ephemerate? Ephemerate's extra damage. I am, okay. They didn't take my advice. I told them to cut the Sylvan Scrying. It's extra damage because I lose the -1 counter. Is this deck weak to Blood Moon? Yeah, but Blood Moon's also like just not very popular in Modern, and you have Outs to it. Or you don't have Outs to it, but you can just get a Swamp and Unmarked Grave Persist. You can Solitude a Magus of the Moon. Some people also just despise being weak to Blood Moon, and those players are going to have a bad time watching this channel. Wait, was there a main deck Elixir? Yeah, but this was definitely my criticism of the deck, was that like the strategy of just make a lot of Urza Saga tokens is not that good of a strategy, because like there's a lot of decks like mine that just ignore it, and there's a lot of decks that play Out by Moon, Blood Moon, Just Down, and can also just, you know, line up very well. This is a cool Crow and War by Archon. I just have another Ephemerate, like a little lucky guy. That would have been a cool way to lose. I think I'm cutting all the Solitudes. No, they're playing Tarmogoyf Elvish Reclaimer. No, it's different than Magic Aids deck. Magic Aids it's similar. It's like the same idea, but this one's green-red, his was red-black with the food package. Not that different, I guess. Teferi seems pretty good. But ending exiling Reclaimer, exiling Power Conduit, exiling Soul Guide Lantern's kind of interesting. Oh, I didn't mean to cut an Aethermage's Touch. Oh, he's already queued post deck tech. I see it. Then he's forgiven. Pending would be better than Solitude? I'm not sure. Solitude's just like so good. Gives you density of hits for Aethermage's Touch. Hits the Reclaimer for 0 mana. Maybe Ending would be better. Kind of talking me into it. How's Terastodon feeling with Touch up the side? I mean, it's just like an anti-Tron sideboard card. It's not like something I'm taking super seriously. It's like, you know, if it was Break the Ice, I don't think we'd be having a big conversation about it. It maybe would be better if it was Break the Ice. You feel like you can get over with this deck easily? Yeah, yeah. Like, the sideboarding with this deck's really complicated. I feel like I have a really... I feel like I don't do a very good job, to be honest, articulating, like, all of my sideboard plans, but it's kind of hard to articulate sometimes. But you're mostly, like, trying to hedge... Like, almost every time you're sideboarding, you're almost always just trying to hedge against their graveyard hate. That's always your main goal. All of the cards in the sideboard hedge against different graveyard hate. And that's almost exclusively how you sideboard, with like a few exceptions where like Stony Silence sometimes is good against non-artifacts, like it's incidentally good against like Hammer Time and Affinity, and sometimes like you bring in Terastodon against Tron and Belcher and stuff, but like those are really your only decisions. Or your main decisions when sideboarding. And then because like you got, like your sideboard is all like generic answers, or like is mostly generic answers, like sideboarding gets really tricky because every card is reasonable to bring in, but you should only be playing 60. And then like there's packages of cards you side on different matchups, Mulldrifter, Solitudes, you trim one Grief a lot, you trim one copy of Unmarked Grave sometimes, you trim the rights sometimes, and always regret it. It's just tricky. I have played the Creativity deck that also plays Persist. I'm of the opinion that this deck is better because it's less vulnerable to creature removal, and instead of... We're playing Cottage over Dwarven Mine, right? That's obviously the big difference. And what's nice about playing Cottage over Dwarven Mine is that, like, you're already a base black deck, and so, like, your Eldraine land is way more synergistic because you're base black instead of being this, like, when you can play a million mountains in a deck that's base black, you know? Yeah, opponent definitely feels like they have Veil, so I think I like Aethermage just touching my instep. But Archon bottom, draw an Archon. Have you got caught casting Indulgence expecting to discard and hat can't because of 5 cost? It is not an issue. Don't worry about it at all. It's happened one time I've cast Indulgence and it drew 2 and I was happy to draw 2. Don't worry about it at all. Don't even think about it. It almost will never happen. When it happens, it's not bad usually because it's like super late game. Okay, so they have a Rinbloom coming down, which is bad. Oh, I just drew 2. I mean, I didn't even want to discard here. But that is funny we're talking about it. It's the second time I've drawn 2. So that's about getting Teferi as it beats the Veil of Summer we suspect they have. Next turn I can go Unmarked Grave Rites. I can't remember who it was. I'm not trying to single them out, but I did a deck tech and someone was like said they were really concerned about Tainted Indulgence, like drawing 2 instead of being able to loot in the list, which is why they made a deck building decision. But Tainted Indulgence almost never draws 2. This is like the second time I've ever done it, and it's like fine when it happens. But it's like when I was first like messing around with ooh, okay. So I guess I can't Unmarked Grave Rites this next turn. But when I was messing around with like this card, it just barely has text. I thought for sure this card would be easier to turn on. It's just not. maybe could have boarded that one out. Actually, I want them to activate this. Don't think I'm playing a second Unmarked Grave here. I opened Aethermage Touch Double Masters too. Dude, that's actually like why I started playing with the card. I had it in my sealed deck. But then, I don't know, I was just kind of thinking, after having my sealed deck, I was thinking about it in this deck, and then I think it made a lot of sense, but... I don't usually recommend seeing a good card in sealed and then start playing with it. But I just randomly had an awesome Aethermage Touch deck in sealed. I had Touch, Silumgar, Sidrus, the Mardu Angel, Ashen Rider, and it was just like... it was just like a great card of the deck. Okay, so I'm going to want to, I think, just end of turn flashback rights to not run into the run afoul. And so I was just like, man, this card's sick. I'm like, what if I played it in this deck? And then I don't know how I connected the dot with Cottage. That was like just like a stroke of inspiration. So they don't have a target for their oh, they can just put a charge counter on something, so they can power conduit. The Faithless Looting would be the best card of Modern today. I'm of the opinion Faithless Looting would be the best card today. Can we talk about not Faithless Looting today, though? Please, can I go one stream without somebody, some deranged maniac, asking me about unbanning Faithless Looting? Although, let's talk about the sub-game a little bit, too. There's a weird sub-game going on with board Modern players where step one is identify a card that would power up your pet deck. Faithless Looting, Baleful Strix, Hymn to Turok. You know, identify a card that would power up your deck, your pet deck, the deck you like to play. And then step two is convince the rest of the Magic community that your pet card would actually be terrible. It would be terrible, actually. It would be unplayable, so it's actually good to unban because it would be not good. It would be fine. Fine, actually. That's step two. And I just find the sub-game to be really funny. I find the sub-game to be really funny. Step three is nothing because the whole exercise is pointless. There's not a step three. Step three is waste your time with these conversations that are pointless because you're trying to get a card printed that really doesn't have much business being printed or unbanned. Yeah, but I think we need to tell our opponent when they come back to the chat that they can put charge counters. They don't have to put a +1 counter. Yeah, talking about bans and unbans is really boring, but I do like talking about the sub game. The sub game has been a new point of interest for me. My opponent meant to retrace run afoul, but they were dead anyways. They sacked the Mulldrifter. Joey, 16 months, appreciate ya. Okay, so we're 3-1 this league. We are currently 8-1 on the day. Let's play for a 4-1, get a prediction going. Okay. While we're discussing bad takes, I think they should unban Shirazad and EDH. I would love to play with Shirazad and EDH. Okay, game 1 against Prowess. This hand's looking pretty good. Ooh, we have a Solitude now. So one kind of interesting thing is if I go to discard this turn, I still get a turn 3 Archon, and I can I can grief on turn 2. Otherwise, I can't grief. So I think I'll do that. Listen, do you not want to play EDH? You don't want to play? Shirazad lets you play longer. Okay, just errata it to exile itself. Is that fair? I think you can unban it. And then people still figure out ways to loop it. Listen, I'm just trying to feel something. Magus, thank you for the 5-pack. Gotta give some Magus, make sure to thank them. Rancid, the 23 months, appreciate you. Excellent, face down. There we go. There we go. We've solved The Scheherazade problem together, chat. It is now officially Aspiring Spike approved to unban at EDH. It'll be fun. You'll unban Scheherazade and you'll like it, chat. you will have fun playing with your Scheherazade, and I will hear no complaints. Can't believe they discarded Bolt. They need to draw another Bolt here. Yeah, yeah. Thank goodness I control the EDH ban list. 1,000-year Storm Scheherazade. Yes, yes. Why are we playing EDH if we can't do that? What even is the point? I could bring in Stony. There's like a pretty good chance they've got artifact-based graveyard hate. I think like 2 Stony makes sense. And then maybe I'll bring in 3 if I see like a lot of Tormod scripts and stuff. Hey, finally get back in Golos. There's too many Stony Silences in the metagame for Golos. I'm gonna be right back. Use the restroom real quick. Okay, we're on the draw. We have Unmarked Grave, Persist. We have Stony Silence. I'm gonna keep. Easy keep. I have enough confidence to keep. Maybe you wanna. But I am overflowing with confidence. My opponent's on a multi 5. Carp Laser 16 months. Spice Weasel 16 months. I love to see that. I always love the back-to-back same month resubs for like this long. Why do we cite Stony? Stony is 2 mana. Your graveyard hate doesn't work. Assuming that they're on like Lantern, Tormod scripts, which they probably are as the graveyard hate. It's 2 mana. You don't get to play graveyard hate.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
How's that a keep? If we draw a land, this hand's really good. It's how. In these kind of combo decks, you keep super high upside hands like this. We even have 3 looks at a land. We even have 3 looks at a land because we could just go to discard on one of these turns. Ah, I see. I've been had. They mulligan to graveyard hate. I have Stony Silence. It's okay. Oh look, I drew a land and my top 3 cards. My hand's nuts. Easy keep. Although my opponent also kept it unkeepable, so. Or they bowled a 5. They had not their fault. Nothing they could have done. Alright, opponent, deal me 17. Yeah, fast match 5, huh? Although, I guess my opponent could have a Spell Pierce. I do have 2 Persist, though. I don't have it. Okay, 9-1 of the day. Okay, I said I was gonna play the Gristlebrand version. I'm pivoting plans. I'm having too much fun. I want to keep Mulldriftering. I think that this is the better version anyways. I'm excited to continue to explore this deck's matchup spread and sideboard plans so I could write my Channel Fireball article. And I promise I will test some more of the Gristlebrand version off stream. And if it's interesting, I'll play it tomorrow. If not, we'll just skip it. But I want to keep playing this one. Here's the Master of Death. And then we can pay out the prediction.